Hey, what's up, everyone? Happy Friday. We got Erin in the backstage, ready to go. How's everyone doing? Today's topic is omni-channel and agile marketing tactics. Today's sponsor, hrefs.com/AWT. Don't be shy, guys. Let me know where you're from. Ethan, what's up, my man from Denver? Andrew, what's up, dog? Hobby from far, far away. Bradley Burney, happy Friday from Toronto. What's up, brother? I see all of you piling right in. Stefan from Sarajevo. Oh yeah. Happy Friday, y'all. Jacob from the Edge Studios on the other side of the glass from Erin. What's up, my man?
I can do that and listen at the same time.
Erin is OG from Logan.
Oh. Control.
All right, today's topics, we'll be talking about omni-channel and agile marketing tactics, along with the edge of the web, Erin Sparks. Don't forget to visit today's sponsor, hrefs.com/AWT. And you know what, guys, if you guys want to get like a free gift package from Hrefs, you get this little mug here. If you want this little t-shirt, we got this little Hrefs t-shirt that's they're giving away, and some notebooks. You get this whole gift package. All you gotta do is count this number. This logo pops up on screen, so that's one AWT, one logo. Just count that, put your guess in the comments, or send me an email, dre@seo.video. All right, guys, we got less than 7 minutes to go. Don't be shy. Say hi in the live chat. Erin Sparks, what's up in the chat? This is gonna be a fun one, guys. Did everyone get any April Fool's jokes pranked on them today? I had a YouTuber prank me while I was watching some YouTuber. I thought he was running for president, and I was like, oh, he got me. Oh man, Jacob cleaned up fake vomit.
Yeah, road gasper. Yeah, you got to.
All right, guys, we got less than 5 minutes to go. Don't be shy. Say hi in the live chat. Razor's haptic suit video was funny. Oh, I gotta check that one out. I got a few more copies of the SEO in 2022 book. If you are from the US, email me your address at dre@seo.video. Let's go. Brian from Canada, what's up, my man? Again, today's topics. We'll be talking about omni-channel and agile marketing tactics as it relates to SEO. Don't forget to visit today's sponsor, hrefs.com/AWT. David Bio, what's up, my man from Arizona? We all over the world today. April Fool's joke. This is for real, Erin. You're live on the SEO video show. Where SEO's alive and fun.
Yoink.
I see a bunch of you out there. Don't be shy. Say hi. Happy Friday, y'all. We got less than 2 minutes to go. Let's get our video SEO in. Omni-channel, SEO, agile marketing tactics, SEO. Let's stuff this. Oh yeah. All right, guys. If you guys haven't joined yet, join the Discord. Trying to grow that little community there. SEO.video/Discord. Trying to see if I can sync up the call feature on there with the live. Hopefully get some like calls coming in from Discord if I can get that set up. Again, don't forget, count this, how many times this logo pops up, you get a free gift from Hrefs. That's twice.
Hey, time to get it started, no delay, let's work. Wanna see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre De Vera, steady dropping knowledge. Over 15 years in the game, so he knows all about it. Master the art of SEO, you will be amazed. Time to get your brand off page to on page. Dropping knowledge, legendary for sure. Whether you're just getting started or self-employed entrepreneur. Yeah, let's go. Subscribe to the SEO video show. Hey!
Hey, welcome to another episode of the SEO video show where SEO is alive and fun. My name is Paul Andre De Vera, aka Dre, and I curate SEO videos released in the past week into about 1-minute clips. My favorite part of the show is when I get to introduce my guest, and my guest this week is the president of Site Strategics, Erin Sparks. Before we get started, let's say what's up to everyone in chat. I see Hobby, David, Erin, Jacob, Bobby, Stefan, so much more. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Now let's get on with the show.
This is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. How did the SEO find their way back through the woods? Breadcrumbs.
A new article was posted on Google Search Central and shows us how to create a monitoring dashboard for your search traffic on Data Studio. Data Studio allows you to customize your charts and view them side by side with other data like Google Ads and Analytics and YouTube and BigQuery, etc. The link of the article is in the description below. All right, Matthew Woodward, a past guest on the past show, posted a new video on Eat Signals. Let's check this one out.
But the days of anonymous websites are over. You must list your business name, address, and phone number in the footer, about page, and contact page. Now, if you're struggling for an address to use, you can maybe use your accountant's address. If you're struggling for a phone number to use, we use CallRail with a pre-recorded answer phone message that delivers answer phone messages direct to your inbox. You should also use one of the many organization structured data generators and add that data to your homepage, contact page, and about page. Now, it's important to note that your about page must have a picture of the business owner, the team, or the premises. We published about this back in 2015 and told you exactly why it was important to have that on your site. You should also include bios of key staff members along with links to their LinkedIn profile. Now, if you're an anonymous affiliate, you can find a face for your site and then have them record an about the website video, an about them video, an answer phone message, and also take some photos. This is how we create personas for all of our different sites. But make sure that you get a release form like this so that they can be the face of your site moving forward.
I'm a big fan of Eats, and creating personas is my jam. This is something I love doing. If you want to see more on creating personas, I know Jennifer Abubayo's episode talks about personas, and even Peter Vandergraaf talks about personas. Okay, so I want to go into in the next video. John Lincoln, another past guest, explains the new index if embed tag for Google SEO. Let's check this one out.
So this new tag, index if embedded, came out January 21st, 2022, and it brings you more control when your content is indexed. And with the index if embedded tag, you can tell Google if you'd still like your content indexed when it's embedded through iframes. And similar HTML tags and other pages, even when the content has a no index tag. So if your content is in an iframe, you can say that you would like to have this content indexed actually inside the index with this tag. Really niche SEO thing, right? Let's go ahead and pull it up on the screen and see what it looks like. So as you can see, it's meta name equals Googlebot, content equal index if embedded. So the new robot tag index if embedded works in combination with the no index tag only when the page with the no index is embedded into another page through an iframe or similar HTML tag like object. So for example, if you have podcast.host.example/play page podcast equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If that page has both the no index and the index if embedded tag, it means Google can embed the content hosted on the page and can also be indexed.
There's always a lot of chatter on indexing content, and this new tag is another way to help you get your content indexed. I mean, this is something where I'm curious what you black hatters are doing with this thing there. Let me know. All right. Our buddies over at Boost Rojas just posted a video on featured snippet optimization. Let's check this one out.
Of course, the first thing is keyword research. The first need to detailed keyword research because it is crucial to use the right keyword for feature snippets. And we know that keyword research is every time one of the vital steps for SEO projects. So the other one is metadata, because metadata, the meta title we use on the page should be well optimized, because we know that for meta title and meta description are important for Google, because they want to see the relevant keywords in our titles in descriptions about our web page. So the other one is title text. Because Google can read text with title text more easily. So we shouldn't neglect to use title text in our titles on the page. And although there are different types of feature snippets, Google expects all of them to be original. So for this reason, we should prepare original, objective, understandable, and clean content, because the content is really important for our SEO projects. And the last one is structured data. Structured data helps search engines to recognize your pages better and show them in search results as a feature snippet. So that's why you should add structured data to your page if you want to appear as a feature snippet on a search result page.
A few guests have mentioned how easy it is to steal featured snippets just by copying what's there and making it better and adding everything that Boost Rojas just mentioned right there. Okay, our last video for today is another post from a past guest, Nathan Gotch, on how he tests meta titles. All right, let's check this one out.
So the biggest lever you can test is going to be your title tag and your meta description. And I recommend testing many different title tags to see which one produces the highest CTR. Just benchmark your current CTR, come up with 10 to 15 title variations, and then push the variation live and let it collect data for at least 2 to 4 weeks. Then just repeat this process over and over until you find a winner. Now your next question might be, what should you test in your title tags? I recommend injecting power words, and here's a list of some that I like to test, and numbers because they tend to produce a better click-through rate, which is why news outlets use them with such high frequency. The second way to improve rankings for low-hanging fruits is to number 2, upgrade your content and optimize. So I'll show you how to find on-page SEO opportunities in a second, but the simplest question to ask is this content long enough? So sometimes just adding more content to a page will be enough.
All right. I love meta title testing, and it's a quick win to get more clicks. All right. This brings me to my favorite part of the show, but before I introduce my guest, here's a word from our sponsor. Are you sick of your competitors outranking you in the search results? Your solution is Ahrefs Webmaster Tools, and it's free $99. This isn't one of your 14-day free trial offers. Instead, it's a super powerful tool that'll do a full website audit for you and keep working for you for free. It'll scan your site and prioritize precisely what you need to fix and improve for your search results. Visit ahrefs.com webmaster-tools for this free tool. Find the link below, and by checking our sponsors, you support this show. Now let's introduce our guest.
Erin is the founder and president of Site Strategics. He has become a recognized authority in the American with Disabilities Act regarding website compliance and testing. He partnered with the National Student Advertising Competition as a judge of the most competition and enhanced the new media education curriculum for high school students. He is the creative force behind the Edge of the Web radio podcast, which has produced 350 episodes over the last decade. Please welcome one of my inspirations for the SEO video show, Erin Sparks.
And my man, welcome to the show.
How are you doing, Paul? How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Congrats on the 10-year anniversary.
Thank you.
I mean, I want to talk about that journey like in a very bit, but let me go right into it. I always ask this question. The very first question I ask for my SEO professors that come online. In 1 minute or less, how does Erin get ranking on page 1 of Google?
You know what? We just buy links.
The first bomb of the day. Love it. Love it.
All right. So semantic SEO, our focus is topical relevancy between pages, between clusters of information. We also do a good deal of research on what Google's actually starting to form in its own AI, understanding its knowledge and starting to fill in the gaps between what customers are searching for and what it thinks that we should be searching for. So we're starting to fill in content where Google's wanting content as it applies to subject matter knowledge. So that's what we stir up with our own websites, with our clients' websites. We also do a lot of good stuff in the studio with our clients as well. But semantic SEO is absolutely where it's at.
Love it. Love it. All right. You know, I want to take this way back. Hold on. Let me take this way back. Bring us back to when did Erin first get into SEO?
Oh, my Lord. Oh, my gosh. You know what? I got into SEO in 1998, if you can believe that. I actually predate the internet. I was doing bulletin board systems. I was developing BBS systems. I had a number of different lines coming into my apartment where I was serving up a lot of tech files, a lot of, you had these tomes of downloads that you could get discs for. So I had multi-disc platters where people could download. So I had a city hub, and it actually came with a web server as well. So I started to serve up websites way before we had dial-up internet connectivity. So back then, I started to build websites, started up my own web development company with my father, and jumped out of college to actually go do that. Ultimately, started to find myself being brought into different marketing firms as kind of the in-house geek or the guru to be able to build everything out. And turned around and started talking about, hey, you don't want to just make this a piece of collateral that matches your brochures. There's an unknown, there's an unbranded consumer looking for these services. And the marketing firms I was working for, they didn't really get it. Obviously, back in 1988, the internet was a fad, right?
Yeah.
So a number of times trying to actually get started inside of companies, I said, you know what, 2004, enough's enough. I'm going to plant my own flag and actually focus on successful websites that are focused on non-branded consumer traffic. That's when I got started with Site Strategics about 18 years ago.
Nice. All right, so 18 years ago, how'd you even learn it then? Because I know you're building websites, but how'd you get to even learn how to get this stuff ranking?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, I came from an analytical mind. So my college career was in philosophy and computer science. So I started to understand Bayesian logic back in the day. And as I started to see things start to get created and more visible with Yahoo and Google back in the infancy, and Alta Vista and Lycos, all these different search engines, started to figure out, all right, I can move things around. I actually can start optimizing these different pages. And that's when some of the old software like Web Position Gold was out there. Something that dated 2 decades ago, but we could actually optimize and start really creating these things to the top. And it took me maybe 12 hours to optimize one page of content with all the different tools that we had. But it started to pay off, and more, I started to be able to develop this system and this methodology. One of the earliest adopters here in Indiana, actually, to be honest with you.
Love it. Love it. All right, guys.
Every time you give me a sparkle, that's fantastic. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, you're my special guest today. All right, guys, if you guys have any questions for Erin, go ahead and ask them in the live chats. So I wanted to go into the edge of the web. All right, this is something you've been an inspiration. I've been actually listening to you as a podcast at first, I'd say maybe about 6 years ago, and then I didn't realize it was actual show until I started getting more onto on YouTube. I was like, oh wow, you're actually doing video here. This is insane. And so you and I'd say even David Bain were set the bar when it comes to online productions, live video. I mean, do you actually? We can talk about this later, but on if you do lives or not. But I want to go into how did Edge of the Web start? Did you start doing video right away, or did it was it a podcast at first and then you started doing video? Take us to the journey of how about 10 years ago. Yeah.
So 10 years ago, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the compliment. I truly do. However, I think we're getting eclipsed here by your show. I think you got a fantastic production, and it's amazing what you've pulled off. So congrats to you, man. If we helped in any way, then I'm feeling humbled here. what we did on our show is we first started doing an advertisement, kind of a paid advertisement on local radio. 10 years ago, we were on different radio stations, and during that, it was a paid environment, so we had a full hour to talk. So we started talking about different articles and different things. It was really focused on Indianapolis market to get business, inquiring, and trying to demystify the entire SEO realm, right, and all the different digital marketing tactics. Well, we certainly understood that we were recording data, so we knew we could easily plug this into a podcast. Even the station manager didn't understand why we wanted the MP3 file. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
So we started to grab a hold of those and started to push the podcast out, started to build the website. And within maybe about 7 or 8 shows, we said, we got to have the cameras on this because we had multiple guests, different camera angles, and we could certainly get into that that additional media channel. So, way early on, we started using the video and chopping it up into different pieces, long form and short form content, so we could really kind of chum the waters with different levels of consumption needs.
Excellent.
All right, so I want to mix when you.
That's amazing.
Wait, so that's that's doing that back then. I mean, that's like way ahead of the curve. I mean, I mean that's crazy because even though you think like podcasting back then was something that was just getting hot and people were getting into. So I wanted to see like what are the keys for you of like making this last 10 years? Like you kept going. You've been doing this for like over about 10 years now, and what are the benefits of it? Like, can you like let us know like how that worked out?
Oh, absolutely. Well, we certainly know why we were doing this in multiple channels, because we understood that consumers are not just audio files, they're not just searching, they're not just on social, they're not just video files. Everybody's got a kind of equalizer bar of consumption, right? They all have their preference. You got a profile, I got a profile. If you can actually chop up that content in multiple ways, you're going to meet your audience where they're at, and then laterally move them from one step to another lane, another channel. Ultimately, they see that you can actually provide them the way they want to be. They want to consume your content. So we started doing this, and it was not only an education process, it was also improving bounce rates. If you get a video on there, you're going to have people stick around longer, right? If you're curating content, transcribing, creating great blogs from that content, you're certainly dialing it in for search. And it's natural language search. It's also black gold. This content never existed on the face of the planet before. Plus, it's also shareable, because if you get that content over to the guest, that guest is certainly going to put it on their blog, and they're going to share back. And it's natural link building. So all of this had the elements of success there. But the show actually has, it's got its marketing goals, and it's certainly there, and we certainly monetize it just like you guys do. We share a sponsor there, but the secondary goal that actually is one of the most valuable pieces is the education that my team gets when we actually do each and every show. So we actually scrum together. We start looking at who we want to talk to and what questions we want to ask of that guest, because we're always trying to keep our powder dry, our sword sharp on the skills here at Site Strategics. So this is a much greater educational font for us than actually is a marketing font. It's really us keeping ourselves right at the edge, learning, and it's that forced discipline that we got to do this show every week. We do 2 shows a week, and we got to know what we're talking about with a level of professionalism. But on top of that, it gives us a great way to actually learn in the process, right?
Yep. Dropping those knowledge bombs. Media for learning. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so I wanted to make sure. How do we? Okay, so you pick the content. You were learning from this. Like, what makes your show? Like, what's the content? Like, how are you choosing content that can help us all learn here?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're always watching what's trending, and click that logo, guys. Always watching what's trending, and making sure that the show's made up of 2 different types of shows, actually 4. We do a daily news or a weekly news show. We do 3 to 4 articles a week with Morty Oberstein. we also do an interview series. So we have an interview. We cut our interviews into 2 different segments. So we're deep diving with that particular guest. We also do some scrums where it's a panel kind of group of discussions. We also do a quick edge flash, kind of like a news flash. If something's popping right now, we want to grab somebody and bring them into the studio, just like you have, and for 15 minutes talk about a particular topic. So we got a lot of different pieces here. What guides what we talk about is what gaps do we have, one, in our own education, right? What is out there that's trending? What needs to be embellished more or deconstructed more? What is elusive? And how we go about reaching that is doing our own research and finding out what's actually being discussed in social, what is a bit ubiquitous that we need to break apart, and also, what do we want to rank for, right? Long and short of it is we curate all this content, and if we have a gap in our own visibility, if we want to be ranking for schema implementation for SEO, right? Well, we just did a long form, a bit of interview series with Johnny Ross, and we're curating the heck out of that. We're going to be planting that on Edge of the Web as well as Site Strategics, cross-pollinate between the two different sites and be able to push that content. So we do maybe 10 to 20 different social media posts out of one show. We also do maybe 3 to 4 articles from each show. We'll also curate the video into different snackable bits, 2-minute pieces as well as long form. So each and every show has a lot of different components to it. But we prepare with that type of analysis. So what do we want to learn? What's out there that's not fully understood, and also what we haven't talked about in a while as well,
dropping those knowledge bombs. Love it. Using all those, grabbing all those things together, creating the long form content, using it for ranking, man, that's gold right there, guys. All right, so I want to make sure if we go into a little more on site strategics, because I wanted to talk about your what you do for clients as well. But I mean, at first I actually didn't even know when you mentioned Site Strategics was sponsoring one of the podcasts, I didn't know you were actually the president too. I was like, oh, this is interesting. So you're using you're kind of we talked about how you're using it as a marketing tool at first. And then, I mean, as a part of your Site Strategics, and I was like, oh, interesting. So that's how you were able to kind of tie the two together and work off each other.
But you also didn't see that we were heavy-handed. You didn't know that I was the president of Site Strategics, and I did that deliberately because I want this show not to be a marketing show. I want this show I want Edge not to be a self-promoting show. This is news. This is interview. This is guest focus. This is education. So we touched lightly that I'm a president or owner of Site Strategics. We have had our title spot for a while. We're also now getting new title sponsors. So Site's kind of edging out a little bit into the background, no pun intended. But it has been very, very useful, and it has been our mainstay of national and international outreach and marketing.
Yep. That's great. I mean, that was something so cool that when I found out when I was doing more research, or when watching online, that's when I actually started. It's like, oh, now I get it. But yeah, so I want to go into your Site Strategics, and you started this. You said you started this back. Was this 2004? 2004.
We're one of the longest standing, if not the longest standing, digital marketing firm in Indianapolis. Yep.
Wow. And then, so since then, I mean, are you finding clients through what different mediums, through all the channels, on a show, how are they finding you?
Perfect example here of what the Edge was built for is we had gotten outreach by somebody last year who was a long-term listener of the show, and he got his job at his new position as an e-commerce SEO manager. And he turned around and said, hey, he actually used us as a citation of where he learns his skills on a regular basis. And he pivoted around and said, hey, I could really use some help over here. He brought us in, our team, to be able to assist that company, and we've got a solid rock star relationship with them for now a year. So these type of engagements are coming through the show with somewhat regularity. It's just great to be able to have that type of organic growth, that it's not a CEO that's saying, hey, go talk to these guys that are doing this podcast. We actually were able to affect somebody's career to the degree that they actually wanted to bring us on as a consultant. So that's a lot of how we get our business. We also have some really good visibility inside the Midwest for search terms. There's a lot of referral business as well because of the longevity. Our client base, on average, is around 7 years with our clients. So we've been doing that for a lot of clients for a lot of years. I'm very proud of that.
Damn!
Man, 7 years. Oh man, that's some great clients to have right there. Love it. All right, so I want to
go ahead. Keep on going.
Oh no. I mean that's great relationship right there.
It was all the way through COVID. We didn't lose one client, which was amazing because digital marketing certainly was a budget challenge, and people were shutting it down. We reduced some of the budgets to make sure that we could still take care of our clients, but not one of them shut up shop. So it's fantastic on that respect that we're blessed to be able to have that type of loyalty with clients too. Anyway, just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I myself end up losing clients when for my side consulting at the side. But hey, they actually did come back after a year and a half later, so that was all good over there. I want to go into into some of your I was watching some old videos of yours. I mean, you talked about local SEO. I mean, is your agency local? Are you doing everything? Is this?
We're doing everything, but we've got a really good solid talent of local. Yeah, absolutely.
Got it. Okay. Well, we've got a first question here from the audience. I just want to go here before we go on to the next question. He goes, Thomason asks, what size is of your team?
It's a cool question, actually, because usually you'll hear about a lot larger marketing teams, and we all know people that are actually doing podcasts that have sizable teams with them. We've got a core team of 5 individuals with a number of subcontractors, and we also have a relationship with another marketing firm that's actually in the same building that we are, and they actually do a lot more design and branding and more PR pieces. So we consider them an extension of our team. So we don't have to take on that much personnel. We're strategy, and we can actually execute a good deal of digital, but we also have some great relationships as needed to be able to execute some fantastic PR moves. We actually won a Communicators Award for the Indiana State Medical Association as we were bringing awareness for opioid addiction, continued medical education. And we worked with that firm to be able to expand and do brick and mortar, boots on the ground type of traditional delivery as well as digital. And I freaked the project point out because literally he was talking on his phone and one of our Google ads actually popped up on his screen. He's not even a doctor, but we were targeting him in such a way that he actually saw that ad in the conversation. Now that was freaky.
Yep. That's the best right there when your clients search certain things and they see it right in front of you. All right, so I mean we're getting some. Okay, we got a question from Hobby. Hobby's he comes here on every week and he asks certain questions here, but let's see if you can help him answer this question. He asks hey, how to warm up an SEO campaign for a movie that has only a teaser, no trailer or official premiere date, like Extraction 2 with Chris Hemsworth.
So how do you warm up an SEO campaign for a movie that only has a teaser, no trailer? Just had to repeat that back. All right, so I can hypothesize here. I haven't rolled out a particular Hollywood initiative. However, one of our team members actually has worked in that capacity on a social media front, if you can believe that. I tell you what, you'd probably pull together a number of interesting pieces that are kind of tangentially relevant to the trailer itself. You'd actually do some storytelling around pockets of information that would be interesting, tying to the key concepts of the movie itself. Even if it's a teaser, you can actually roll out some unique pieces of information that are relevant, they're subject matter, but they're also kind of curiosities as well. So, not just the PAAs, but if it's something that is going to have some unique components to it that are kind of errant, more non-mainstream type of concepts, start rolling out some content that way. You can actually attract some low-hanging, long-tail fruit, right, and actually position that trailer in a way that it's a natural inquiry as opposed to trying to go up long, in the mainstream and try to get some sort of bandwidth off of the actor or what have you, if you actually tease out some tendrils of some weirdness, depending on the movie, right? You probably could get a lot of interesting natural loyalty starting to follow that. How about that?
Love it, man. I think you're the first person to answer Hobby's question of all my guests for the past maybe few months. He's been asking that question, and no one could have answered it. Like they couldn't understand like what he was asking for. But man, that just totally made sense. Hobby, I hope you caught that. Watch the replay if you didn't. But that was a great answer. Okay, we got another one coming up here from Stefan. Stefan asks, "Hi, Erin. How do you achieve a higher ranking for products on e-commerce websites?"
Ooh, okay. So we know schemas out there, right? Schema and the depth of schema certainly is valuable. Depends on what your platform is as well. And, different enterprise platforms have their own limitations. But whenever you get down to it, if you start actually going after, and we actually have this process with one of our clients right now, we're going after people also ask inquiries, making sure all of the reviews are online and aggregated here, because what we're seeing with Google is Google starting to create sentences from the reviews. The strings of characters don't exist. It's actually connecting the dots and actually bubbling up to the top true, authentic insights, like how sharp is this knife need to be or something like that, from the consumer's reviews. So now it's actually polling and extracting key concepts, and then you can actually start writing content against that extraction. So you need to have those aggregate reviews and obviously build up more and more so Google can learn. But as you start seeing how it's understanding the consumer's review intake, you start creating content directly towards that. Now you're feeding the beast right there. Ooh. Lateral navigation and cross-linking, we certainly love different products like inlinks that actually give us a good deal of same as type of schema relevancy on the page itself, though it's not just product schema, but it also is things that you're talking about. That actually really does jingle the bell, so to speak. But hopefully that helps you. A couple key points there.
Love it. Dropping all these knowledge bombs for everyone. Love it. Love it. Okay, we got, they're coming right in. We got one from Viral Clout asking, "Hi guys, how do you rank for Google Images?"
Oh boy, there's one. All right, so first, naming convention of the file, right? Mm-hmm. And I would also recommend any type of EXIF data that you can get in there, because that's metadata of the image itself that's going to also be parsed. Want to make sure that we have alt tags as well as title tags for the images themselves. If you can actually link and reference them internally of the website as individual gallery shots, something like that, that can actually pull and push anchor text towards that. It's also about inbound. Obviously, it's about what the relevancy is on these pages and the images on those pages. So if you actually start getting a highly linked page, adjust some of the images a little bit more to be able to actually screw the cap on tighter to be able to get some of that optimization. There's a lot to Google Image SEO. We've got a client that is very specific in a kind of a industrial manufacturing environment, and case studies and breakout imagery of step-by-step type of listicle information that can actually give you schematics and kind of piecing together the different ways to understand the topic. That actually ties in very well because you have the feature snippet opportunity, and that image is going to be scooped up as well. So it's a connection to knowledge as much as possible if you can. If you just have an image with a tome of text, that's not going to get it. But if you can actually break that down and make it useful information, right? Useful imagery, that's absolutely going to win the day.
Man, what an answer. Love it. Love it. Okay. There's one more. Before I ask my question, because I have a few questions I still want to answer here. But so we have another one from Thomason. How do you charge clients per hour or base revenue? Are the ingredients to your clients? Yeah, retention rate. Yeah.
We work. Yeah, I got it. We work on a retainership, and we work in an agile credit system. Each credit's around three hours of effort. And we actually have almost a menu system of every task that we do has been engineered by just looking at the sprint and being able to see how much time over the years it would take to do a blog article with content strategy and optimization and content briefs and the like. So we have it pretty down pat what that effort actually costs us. But the credit system gives the client an understanding of they can get anything. If you go to our site, you'll be able to download that entire menu system. You can see any of the pieces, and we put together inside the budget aperture all these different blocks of credits. So if you actually want an infographic, we can actually kind of put it on layaway. It may take 7 credits, but you can only but instead of actually doing it all in one month and blowing the budget, we lay it on its side, chop it up over time. So in the 7th month, right, you've got your infographic, and we're still doing social media, we're still doing other tactics, so it doesn't deter from some of the regular tactics that you have to do. So we've actually evaluated all the tactics as much as possible to get a good pricing on that. And then we can then trade out different things based on the client's need. So the best thing is the client understands that when they want something, they come to us and say, okay, what can I remove to be able to put this in place because we really need it? And that gives us the agility to be able to be responsive, but also budget sensitive. We were always focused on, hey, we can't blow the budget on reactivity for the client. The client has to also own the process. If they are asking us to do something, we've already planned something, they got to sacrifice what they were going to get beforehand.
Love it. All right, man. That's how you make the money, guys. All right. So I want to go into going back to your agency here, because I mean, this is something where you kind of specialize in omni-channel, like digital marketing tactics. This is something maybe not everyone in who's watching the show understands omni-channel. So how does SEO play like in your omni-channel approach for your clients?
Well, I mean, I think we were kind of predicting the future here a little bit, because we'll curate content, we'll do video production, we'll do audio production. If the client's actually interested in doing that, we'll also take what we learn and be able to curate across all different platforms. But the point is, we try to get as much different types of digital touches as possible, because MUM is on its way. Obviously, in MUM, we're starting to see more and more mashups of graphics, of infographics, of videos, of images based on a consumer's profile. So your MUM is going to look different than somebody else's based on your interests. So and very similar to the kind of the media equalizer bar that I was talking about before. Everybody's got a consumption profile of how they want to take in digital media, right? So if you're not in the video space with whatever, you don't have to have a show like Paul's. You can just do a video of instruction, right? But do it, because there is a user that's actually going to be wanting to consume how to tie a fly for fly fishermen, right? And you've seen all of these really great niche videos that don't have to be incredible productions, but they're putting that content out. And if they're smart about it, they're strategizing what they should be talking about, what they should say, so they can break those videos out into smaller chunks. So not everybody has time to be able to listen to or track an hour video, but they can certainly take in 2 minutes of video. It's always about that consumer's transaction. What are you asking me to actually digest? Well, you don't have time. It's kind of an imposition to dive into an hour podcast. That's one of the reasons we chopped up our podcast into two 30 minutes, just for that reason. And the listenership went way up because we were meeting their need on a commute or what have you. So you got to figure out what the consumers are looking for, but on top of that, move it into all the different lanes in the consumption highway, and they'll all work with each other. And in the light of MUM, it's all going to be supportive of the natural growth of that domain.
Love it. All these knowledge bombs. You're on fire here. All right. So when
I go back at home to my kids, I got to use that graphic and say, hey, I just dropped a knowledge bomb.
Yep. Hell yeah. All right. So I want to go into more. Okay. So you actually kind of brought this up a little bit on being agile. So, I mean, like if someone wants to be, what's your like agile marketing approach? I mean, is this something like how you were talking about, like about your
flexibility
system? Oh yeah. So like how does someone start like an agile marketing approach for themselves?
So agile has kind of a twofold meaning. Agile is an iterative approach, right? Agile can also be reactive to a client. Okay, an iterative approach. Agile comes from the Agile methodology comes from software engineering, actually, where you actually take slices of time or development as opposed to long burn development, where it can actually waste so much more time trying to restructure something on poor intent or poor functional specs. But in this approach, we have a month agile sprint. Okay, usually you have about 2-week sprints, but we actually work our clients in a full month of all of our different tactics. So we plan all of our tactics before the beginning of the month. We lock it in, and then we start going at it. And as we do different marketing campaigns, the iterative approach comes into play. Is that each and every piece of information that goes out, we need to track what the behavior is, but you can't understand behavior unless you're anticipating what the results are going to be. So you have to hypothesize, what are we trying to do? What puzzle piece are we trying to put in there? What is this page? How is this page going to affect this and this page by its connectivity as well as its subject matter relative information and semantic relationships. For every one of our different Facebook ads, we're hypothesizing what are we looking for from a click-through rate or a performance rate. We have to launch with that and then reflect back each and every time. Did we get what we were looking for, or did we test it correctly, right? So constantly having that scientific methodology approach gives us the ability to excel in performance, but at the same time also give us the flexibility of, hey, this didn't work, let's not do this again, let's move this around. There's so many marketing companies that don't look at that way. They'll just throw out an ad because there's an ad, throw out a page of content, right?
Love it.
You have to look back and see what the performance was.
Love it. Okay, so I want to go ahead and guys, I'm opening up the chat again for if you have any questions. And while that comes in, I want to see if you can give us like a quick tour of the studio, because I know for those that don't know about the Edge of the Web, be sure to check it out. You can find it on our old podcast, and you can also find it on his YouTube channel. But I mean, there's so much that goes behind there, right? We have Jacob in the background. He's like behind some glass right now. Is there a way you can get? Oh, there goes Jacob. So I mean, like, how many cameras do you have going on like right now?
Let's see, we got 4 cameras over here, and Jake remote controls everything. So we built this studio just over 6 years ago, and this is not just one screen. I mean, we built this room out, we built this entire floor out, customized it, soundproofed it. It's one of the best recording studios here in Indianapolis. So companies can come in and be able to, why don't you bounce around a couple cameras?
Yeah.
Companies can come in. We can brand everything. Want to throw the different colors on the wall here. Each and every of the sound panels, there's a green screen right there. Like you can see, each one of the sound panels are individually lit, so we can actually control everything. And so we can do a custom branding for a client. They come in and it's all saved, and they can come back in and it's, slip it on like a glove. We can do any kind of custom branding back here. We can drop a green screen back behind the entire wall. It's multi-camera, remote control, PTZ cameras, 20 optical zoom. And what we can do as well is be able to pick the entire thing up and go on location. So the entire thing is a mobile studio for live stream and keynote speaking and trade shows and stuff like that.
Love it. Oh man, there's just a knowledge bomb in itself, putting all that together. All right. So I want to Thomason, it says here, Erin, you literally brought software development approach to marketing. Love it. Okay. Viral Cloud, great show. Okay, here we go. So I want to go. We have a few more questions before I'm going to ask my last question here. We have Thomason asks us a question here. What would you say are the main ingredients to your client retention rate?
Wow. I think it's trust. We don't blow smoke. We don't spin reports, and we don't churn out a rote report without commenting and communicating and giving some insight. So each and every month, the entire team sits down and goes over our end of month reports. And we're looking at each and every client, and the entire brain trust is focused on insights and awareness. And we find things sometimes that one particular account manager may not have seen, but the entire team is looking out for them as well as the client. And we'll also own mistakes. And if we did something that was working, over the years, I mean, we have a moving company that's been with us over 10 years, and we did a lot of optimization, but got smacked down about 2 years ago whenever YMYL started to roll through, and our pages were outranking different gas companies and different employers in the cities, and that wasn't what that content should be for on a moving company. So all of a sudden, the wind was getting taken out of our sails. Well, we owned it. We purged content, we reset what we were doing, and came back and have drilled it home to a higher degree of success than the domain has ever had. We owned it and shared that information with our client. That kind of trust builds longevity. You can't be afraid to own a mistake, but you also have to make sure that you're upfront and honest in all the affairs as you're doing work for these clients, you know?
All right. So we got a couple more questions before our last one. We have Viral Cloud, a core of team of 5. What are the functions for each of those core positions?
Predominantly strategy and account management. We got a strong technical operations manager and video and production out of Jacob. So we have a good deal of digital tactics that we all learn and train each other on. So we have each other's back in that space. I've got, like I said, about 19, 20 years, actually more than that now. Oh my gosh, 23 years of SEO. Yeah. I need to retire sometime. But no, Jacob says no. And we also have some solid graphic design and, as I said, an extension of our company, really good PR pieces as well. So we can actually get word out and be able to do outreach on TV and radio. But our core focus is digital strategy and optimization. And we've got a really, really strong team that can actually do a lot of the same efforts regularly. PPC and SEM are also a strength of ours as well. So we cross-pollinate a lot of these different tasks, so we all understand the environment. That makes sense?
Love it. Okay, last question from the audience we have here from Brian. All right, Erin, how are you doing your keyword phrase topic clustering? Is it more a topic approach or word dated?
Yeah. We are not word dated anymore. We are cluster, we are phrases, we are semantic concepts. There's new software that's out there that's giving us AI approach to things. We also study PAAs very intently to be able to understand what Google's actually showing of a level of interest. And we start actually putting concepts on the map, not terms, not phrases, but actual concepts. Think of it, Google is trying to, I'll channel my inner Jason Bernard, right? Is that Google's a child. Google's trying to learn. So it's putting pieces of anything together, and it's just like looking at all the different puzzle pieces. If you can actually try to map those puzzle pieces of subject matter knowledge and all the relevant subtopics that go into a topic, right? Then you can actually start building phrases. You can start building the different types of content that go into it. You start creating that neural map that Google can start trusting, right? Then, I mean, like I said at the beginning of the show, then it's rocket fuel for SEO. But you have to start understanding the topic even more than your subject matter experts. And that's why we actually have this studio as well. I forgot to actually mention this, Paul, is that we'll get our clients in here, whether or not they want to do a show or not. We get them in here, we'll talk to them for about 2.5 hours and have an interview process that's already kind of pre-scripted with a heck of a lot of research. And we'll record them in the studio and start interviewing them, asking questions, getting those featured snippet, listicle, bulleted type of opportunities from them. And it's an organic conversation that gets us into really understanding more of why they do what they do or what differentiates them from different competitors. And it's again, a fount of knowledge that as soon as you're on the mic, you know this, as soon as you're on the mic, man, you're passionate, you want to just roll with it and be able to expound on things. And we're just picking all that up, recording it, transcribing it, and we can start piecing together what that subject matter is, as well as capitalizing on who they are in the marketplace. And that is manna from heaven, to be honest with you.
Man, whoo, you are on fire here. I gotta make sure I put some blow out some of the smoke. All right, so I want to make sure. This is my last question. I ask all my SEO professionals that come on board here, and I want to ask you the same thing. So, if someone wants to get into the SEO game, become an SEO professional themselves, what would your advice be to them?
Oh my gosh, I saw somebody do something. One of the first people that really just blew me out of the water. Olga Zarjeshna is amazing, and what she's doing with her lists of tools and tips, she's spending 40 or 50 hours per blog page on an incredible list of insights and SEO techniques. Well, the lists are fantastic. Certainly go there, SEO slide, to go check all that out. But it's the discipline that she has to go learn and document, right? While she's doing that, she is increasing her skill sets tenfold just by having the bravery to actually document and put all that out there, right? That's one thing, because we know the SEO world can be a little bit critical, tongue in cheek there, but what she does and the learning that she go through as she consumes that and tests things out, you can't do anything better than what she's doing. She's a new SEO, but you've seen how her site has just exploded. Yep. I would highly recommend that pathway for a new SEO. Take the bull by the horns, go learn it, document it, share it, because while you're doing it, you're investing in yourself more than anything else. That process of doing what we're doing right here, right? Mm-hmm. Learn it and then be able to repurpose it and then give it back to the larger audience. That's what I would highly recommend for anybody that's coming into the marketplace.
All right, nice way to end it off here. Okay, so I usually have, I want to, any last advice, comments for anyone? How can people get a hold of you? If you sing, play an instrument, you can pull the instrument out right now. If you rap, you can do whatever you want. It's all you.
My kids have told me I will never rap again. You can find us. We certainly appreciate you guys jumping onto Edge of the Web. 10 years in the making. Episode 488 just came out. We're going to be showcasing Jason Bernard's book coming up here in the next couple of days. Join us there, because we love the participation, and we got to get you on the show too, Paul. So that's it. You can also see us over at Site Strategics. That's Site Strategics. You can also search for us for Agile Marketing Method, and you'll be able to find us out there. And on top of that, you can also check out Edge Media Studios, which is a sub-brand of our own company, which actually represents what we do here at the studio. And you can also find me. Just search for Erin Sparks. You'll be able to find me. However, I'm still trying to get my brand SERP, trouncing an Erin Sparks PhD that is in my way right now. Just to let you know, I'm working on that. When it comes down to music instruments, all I can do is, I guess a mouth trumpet. All
right, let's go.
Come on. All right, that's all I got for you, man.
All right, love it. Thank you so much. If you can hold on for one quick second while I sign off here. Yeah. Hold on for one quick second. All right, guys. That concludes another episode of the SEO Video Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I will see you next week. Peace out.
Thank you for watching. Hope you come back next week. Make sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss a thing. Hope you learn something new, because the vibe is incredible. From the special SEO professionals, SEO video show. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre De Vera helping you step it up. No delay right now. Time to level up. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Woo!